Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. We begin with CARTA celebrating a big milestone today.
The electric shuttle downtown has been on Chattanooga streets for 20 years. Dozens gathered at the shuttle parking garage where the shuttle takes on and off each and every day. Since the shuttle opened in 1992, it's traveled almost 3 million miles and almost 1 million round trips to the historic Chattanooga Choo Choo Hotel and the aquarium.
Chattanooga City Council member Pam Ladd says a day like today is definitely one to remember.
I remember when you could not see Lookout Mountain for the fog, the smog. And I remember how bad it smelled to come downtown, and I remember walking by here on Broad Street, and these were just empty bus barns. And look at what has happened.
The future of the electric shuttle is just beginning. CARTA hopes to have electric shuttles replace normal buses in the future.
But just because the shuttle has had a successful 2 decades doesn't mean that CARTA's bus system has followed suit.
The trouble, most people don't ride them. And since today is National Dump the Pump Day, Alyssa Spirato went to find out why drivers aren't opting for public transit. Alyssa.
Kim, Latricia, people I spoke with today say gas prices and accessibility to public transportation doesn't even matter, even if it means stepping right outside their front door onto a bus or saving money. It's called Dump the Pump, a drive that urges you to ditch the gas pump for a day and hop on public transportation.
It cuts into people's budgets, and we could save people an immense amount of money when they dump the pump.
But Chattanooga's public transportation hasn't gotten the best reviews. In fact, a Brookings Institution study finds Chattanooga ranks 87 out of 100 when it comes to public transportation access and coverage. Dugan says some suburbs like Soddy Daisy did have access at one point, but when the city stopped paying into the CARTA fund, CARTA stopped making stops in places like Soddy Daisy.
If you were to measure our system 20 years ago, when many of the small cities were in, while we wouldn't be in the top 25%, we certainly wouldn't be in the bottom 10%.
But it just isn't public access that's turning many Chattanooga residents from dumping the pump and boarding buses. Jonathan Beardsley works downtown but lives about 20 minutes away. He says he has a bus stop right by his home, but says taking the bus to work is not something he's into.
Easy to hop on the highway and get to work. If I wanted to ride the bus, I'd probably have to get up an hour earlier, go find a bus stop, and wait for the bus.
An hour earlier, he says to him, isn't worth it.
I don't think it's a real pleasurable experience to ride the buses. And maybe it has something to do with who's on the bus already. Maybe it has something to do with the convenience factor.
Now, Tom Dugan says as of June of last year, 1.8 million people ride CARTA's buses each and every year, not to include the 900,000 that ride the shuttle. Latricia, back to you.
All right, Alyssa, thank you.